Hi, everyone. I'm Judy Fulmer, and I teach at Hollifield Station Elementary School, and I'm presenting tonight, along with my friend Hannah here. We're going to talk about how we've discovered how to use Wixie for PE. The cool thing about Wixie is there's so many different ways of using it.
My name is Hannah Owen. I'm a Baltimore County Public School teacher at Westchester Elementary in Catonsville. And I only teach K through 3. I don't teach 4th and 5th, but I think that Wixie is definitely very usable for 4th and 5th as well.
Awesome. Well, thank you both so much for sharing your expertise. I'm going to go ahead and let you control Judith and share your, I'm going to stop presenting and let you share your screen. You see that down at the bottom? Mm-hmm.
So this is my very first Wixie that I did. We were working on Tabatas. A lot of the PE teachers have been finding really cool Tabatas online, but I had them design their own Tabata, and I have a button that explains it, so I'm going to go ahead and press it.
Welcome to your Tabata Wixie demonstration page. Your assignment was to create your own Tabata. We're going to do 4 sets that repeat themselves. So you could make videos of yourself doing the different 4 activities. You could draw pictures. You could write words. If you're not sure that your pictures are clear enough, you could add audio descriptions to it. The options are limitless. I can't wait to see or hear about your Tabata design. Good luck.
And so there's a second page, and that's when they did the Tabata. So I found online a Tabata timer, and some of them clicked on the video and made a video of themselves with the Tabata timer, and some of them drew pictures or put numbers in it. This is for K through 2, so it really allowed that they could draw, and it was really neat to see the different products that they made. The next one that I designed was for my upper grade kids. It was a fitness plan. We had done a home fitness test where they had a chance to see what their different fitness levels were. And then this was like the example page, and with a little instruction here.
Hi, everyone. On your Wixie page, I want you to create your own workout. As you can see, I used some images from the Wixie gallery. You can either put the images there that you see. You can make your own images. You can take photographs of yourself and put them in. You could just use words. You could upload videos of yourself doing exercises. You could upload YouTube videos, but create a good workout that has some cardio, some flexibility, and some muscular endurance in it. Good luck on your creations. Can't wait to see them.
I also told them that they had to have their fitness goals. And so here's the blank page for them to work on. The next one I'm going to share with you is the next one that I made. And that was something called a Wixie locomotor skill. I found these I think it's called Vita Health. They had these great videos of galloping, sliding, and skipping. And then the kids were to use the video tool, which I told them, again, this is for K through 12, look for the thing that looks like a Lego that's been stepped on, and create your videos. It was so good to be able to see what their skill levels were. It was awesome. And then it's so nice because I could give them each one of them feedback about what might be the problem with their skip, their gallop, or slide. The next one that I created was one that, let's see if this is it. Is this it? Nope, that's not it. The next one I created, I haven't used it yet, but we're working on manipulative skills. But I created a video of myself doing an underhand toss and an overhand throw. And they're going to have to, again, make a video of it over here. And then I can talk, they can decorate it in any way that they want. The ability to actually spend a little time watching their videos. I'm going to stop sharing my screen now if I can get back to the meet here. I'm going to stop presenting. Yeah, there's so many things that you can do to create with them. And now I'm going to be doing another one for striking. Again, it's so easy for me to assess their skills with that video tool. A couple of little minor things. When you have a kid that says their camera doesn't work, when you do that, when they try to click on their camera, there's a little camera up in the upper top right hand corner, and it will say your camera doesn't have access. You have to allow it to have access. And so I learned that the hard way. Heidi helped me with that one. But again, to be able to give them that little, it does take a little time to run through them. My locomotor skills was nice because they were side by side, so I could click, 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 and watch them simultaneously to see the outliers. And the feedback was great. And I gave them a chance to fix it and let me know. I always say, if you're going to repair it, you need to let me know so that I can look at it. So you have to inbox me for that. These Wixie tools are so good. You can spray paint. The spray paint tool is awesome. The creative things that they came up with they blew me away. Now, some of them were very minimalistic, okay, this is what I got to do. But the fact that our tech teacher and a lot of the classroom teachers have been using this tool allowed me to not feel like I was starting from scratch, but I did. We have the way PE was lined up in the fall was we had some asynchronous lessons that they did independently, and this was their assignment a lot of times. But during the synchronous lesson, I would share and show them and have one another. Now they're like saying, can you show my Tabata to the class? Can we do my Tabata? And if I were to have not done it my first time, I would make them go through all 8 sequences. And I think I might even offer that to the upper grade kids to do that as one of my coming up lessons. Does anyone have any questions about the use of the Wixie, or do you want me to show you how to make one real quick? I don't know. I can't see the chat box, but is there anything in the chat box there? No.
I just wanted to comment that I really liked that you recorded your face saying the directions. There is that tool that allows you to record, the directions on the side, but I feel like you putting that on the front page would probably be a little bit easier, especially for the younger students to use. So I think I'm going to steal that trick.
That was really helpful in the beginning. I think that once they're more comfortable with it, then you can just like my later one that I'm like in the process of drafting now, the one about the underhand toss, that you have to kind of type it in. So that one I just typed it in instead because I feel like they know the tool now because we've used the tool again. I wish I could show you all the different kinds of things they did, but I don't know about their privacy to do that. But I really believe that I mean, again, I saw kids who were shy in class really start to shine. Miss Fulmer, let me show you this. And they were so excited to show their product. Now, that's not true about all of them, but so many of them, and some of the ones who don't have a voice really shined with this particular tool. So I really like this tool a lot. My one thing that I hope that Howard County will do is to make it so that it's actually part of creating an assignment. I had to create an assignment separately. It wasn't one of our ones that was allowed for us to do in the alignment. I don't know the technology terms to tell you what I'm talking about, but it was worth the effort because the product that I got was way, it was so useful. And I was just at a PE teacher meeting yesterday, and the teachers were like, wow, how in the world can we assess these kids? You know, you got these little boxes, half the kids have their camera off. And I'm like, well, if you do this tool, they got to turn their camera on. And I told them, you know, I don't care if I see your face. I want to see what your feet are doing for the locomotor skill. I don't care if you do the skill just only showing your back. I just want to see that you have your LV going, your L in the back when you're stepping on the opposite foot. Those are the kinds of things I want to see. So I love this tool. It was a really cool thing. The kids got excited about it. Again, there were some little glitches with the camera. So some of them, before I knew the camera, I just like, just inbox me your video and we'll get you credit for that. So, but now that little camera up or right, but you can't know it until you try to open up the video. When you try to open up the video and it says no camera to access, then that's when you tell them to look for that little camera up on the left.
I have a slide for that, Judy, so that they can see that, because that was a big problem that I needed to show visuals for.
I'm going to steal that idea from you.
Awesome. We had some folks say that they would love to see a model kind of recording with the video and stuff. But Hannah, if you're going to do that or can do that in your piece, then awesome. If not, we can circle back to Judith and you can show a little bit more. Yeah. Okay.
All right. Yeah, I did not include that, but maybe I'll just share mine and then Judy can take care of that part and we'll just do another switch off.
All right. Sounds good.
All right. I will get my tab ready to present. So as it's loading, and I'll change my screen so that it's big. So our school, our county really, we use Schoology, and I have found that especially kindergarten, first and second grade, they have a really difficult time using Schoology. The typing on it is difficult. Sometimes they can't quite figure out. It's just not as, like, I guess, visually friendly to little kids to use for having the text read to them and to find pictures, whereas Wixie kind of puts it all together. So in some ways, I just use this because I think it's easier to use than Schoology. I really like the image bank that is built into Wixie. I really like the option to have the students record just their voice or to record a video of themselves. I think it gives a lot more flexibility for how a student wants to show what they've learned, especially cognitively. I mean, psychomotor, they got to do it and you have to see it to really see that. But especially for how to show their cognitive understanding, it gives them choices and it kind of, helps them to be more comfortable with doing the assignment. Whereas some students might just decide, oh, I don't want to do it this way, so I'm not going to do it. And then also I really like the way that the feedback is set up on Wixie so that I can give feedback and the student can comment back to me and it's all together. It's easier to use, I think, than Schoology. When I subbed for 4th and 5th, they do understand Schoology pretty well and very quickly, but I know that there are students, when I gave them the option of doing the assignment in Schoology or doing it in Wixie, a lot of them chose Wixie because they just like it and they remember using it when they were in younger grades. So just wanted to share some of the things that I pulled from mine. I took snips so I could cover up student names and student faces. But basically I use it a lot to just check for understanding, kind of in the same way that you would give a student a worksheet. But instead of, writing their answers, they can use pictures, or they can record what they're thinking, or take a video, or they can type it out. This was just an example of second grade work where the students had to show examples of how we can take care of our lungs. I did a similar lesson with kindergarten and first grade, but instead of having them, pull things straight from their mind using the Wixie tools, I set the lungs to the background and I locked the instructions, because that way the instructions can read to you when you click on a certain thing. And then I put out different distractors and correct image answers on the side so that they could click and then drag what they felt like were correct answers over to the side. We talked about our assignment inside of the Meet, but I think you could very easily have a student click that microphone button and they could record why they chose the things that they chose, and then you have a little bit deeper of an answer. Like that Judy said, she used this to have them record. This is one of my first Wixies from the beginning of the year. I was just having them identify, but I mean, a page 2 where they record themselves doing each of them, that would be another great way to actually get a psychomotor check of their understanding of the movements. This is something that I created when I was going through topics. We were doing health-related fitness components. This was for 3rd grade. I think 4th and 5th would be able to do this also. But I just created some clues, and the students had to figure out what the clues were talking about. So different this is just another cognitive assessment. This is student work. They crossed out part of the word bank to help them pick through and figure out or have a clue as to, what the next page might be. And they did 1 page for each of the words in there. This is just another one. It's, similarly to how you would have a worksheet, but instead of the worksheet, it's just on Wixie. When I made this one, I sent everything to the background so nothing could be moved except for these blue type text here. I changed the color, and I think that visually makes it a little bit easier. And then the students were directed to type in that. If I were to do this again, I have click and drag, but the students typed that. And then I also had them use the paintbrush tool to trace the blood flow. So this is an example of that. Here's one that I did use click and drag. So by sending it to the background, and then after sending it to the background, adding the words into the word bank, that makes it so that they can move again. So then the student could just click and drag to where it needed to go. So those are all very, I wouldn't say low level, but they're not really making anything. They're just kind of showing that they understand it. And what I think Wixie is really great for is it kind of gives you this ability, like Judy was saying, where they can create these really epic, amazing things. And I think they learn more because they're making something and they're more engaged. And yes, there are students who just do what they need to do to get it done, but when they like to use it or they're feeling interested and engaged, then they usually will spend a lot more time thinking about whatever PE concept we were going over that day than if I just had them do like a quick fill-in. This was the beginning one too. I literally took a worksheet and I just changed it for this, but students were asked to create a dance routine. I think that you could do this also if you were trying to create a jump rope routine or tumbling. I don't know if anybody's brave enough to teach tumbling on virtually. I have not been yet, but you are, more power to you. Here's an example of a student who did the bare minimum, but I mean, they did what they had to do. But of course, I had other students who decided to record each of their dance steps. And then as a page 2, it was a may do. I told them that they could put all 4 of their sequence steps together and then record the whole dance together. Some of them added music. Some of them were like dressed up for this. But that was really fun to watch. And I got to learn more about the kids because I can hear what kind of music they like and other things like that versus just the Schoology assignment where they're really just answering questions. This was how I kind of changed that assignment a little bit for, this is for 1st and 2nd grade. So I integrated it into using locomotor and non-locomotor movements. The student used the paintbrush, the text box, images from the image bank. This friend recorded the whole dance and them doing that dance as well. And another friend recorded each of the steps and then all of it together. Something that I found that the students like to have is a resource page at the end. So the resource page at the end of this one, because we had gone over locomotor and non-locomotor movements across, I think it was 3 or 4 lessons. That way, this was kind of all of the information is there together in one place. And then they were able to pick from that when they were making their own dance. So here's another creation kind of thing. This was a pretty deep one. This took a lot of time, many classes, and working after the class. And I really broke this down a lot. I found that my students really love yoga, and especially when we would do a Cosmic Kid yoga video, they really loved it. They loved the stories. So since it was something they were so interested in, I decided to kind of make this an assignment where they would make their own yoga story. So this example, it's showing the background. She's doing her own tree pose, and she made up her own playground pose. And then she also recorded her story, which included the poses. So her story is on the side there. One day, my sister and I were playing hide and seek in our backyard. First, I looked behind a tree. Then I looked behind the playground. There she was. I found her. This is a 1st grade student who made this yoga story. And here are some other ones from some of my 2nd graders. The things here were how I broke this down, I guess, is we talked about, after doing Cosmic Kids, we talked about the word theme and how you can integrate the word theme into what we're doing. I had the students pick a theme and then do their background. And that was probably 2 classes because a lot of them started but didn't quite finish their background. So they just worked on their background for probably 2 classes. And then the class following, I had them add 2 yoga poses. So during class, a student would say, I want to use a rocket ship pose. And the rest of the students in the meet thought of what they would think a rocket ship pose would look like, and then they gave their suggestions. After that class time, then students had time to add their own 2 poses. And then adding the short story was a completely other class. So by breaking this down and asking for very little each class, I was able to get some really great work because the students weren't feeling so overwhelmed at trying to do so many things at once. I've also used this as kind of in a similar way where I broke it down and we just worked on one little thing at a time. I found that using that same idea for skill-related fitness components and health-related fitness components to be really helpful because that's a lot of information all together in one thing. So when I was teaching skill-related fitness components, we would go over 1 or 2, and then I would ask the students to just work on the components on those pages in Wixie for that day. And this one I did include a resource with all the definitions at the end also. So some students chose to just put text for their answer and maybe a little image. Other students gave me some images and then recorded themselves talking using the microphone tool. And then I had other students here who this one took on a whole live reporting scene. She had this whole backstory that she included in her thing. And she was able to also show that she understood the skill-related fitness components. This is the pages. I just trying to show how you can make 2 simple templates and then just copy and paste and kind of change just one little thing on the page, and that makes it easier, less time consuming when you make something. But what this was for was we were making would you rather style workouts. And in the work slides, I asked the students to name exercises that would improve specific health-related fitness components. So aerobic capacity, muscular strength and endurance, and flexibility. And I keep it just those basic things for, this is for 3rd grade. So as students were, they picked 2 things to choose between, and then the following page that comes up would be the work slide. So this one, the student was asked to put in 2 different examples of aerobic exercises. They chose to use the image bank. This student, choose one. He's wanting people to choose between eating a brain or a leg of an animal. Got some interesting things here. That this person chose to use pictures from the internet, which I didn't know that you could do from Wixie, but I think he saved it to his computer and then uploaded it. Forgot to label his exercises, but that's okay. And then, another way to do it is the student just took 2 different videos of them doing the different flexibility exercises that they wanted to come after as the work slide, as the demo. I also, at the very end of the page, or very end of the assignment, created an About the Creator page. I told them that they needed to put their name and some things, but I blocked that out for this. But one of the things I asked for was just one fun fact about themselves. This student gave me a whole bunch, and as I'm a new teacher at this school, so this information is information that I would have learned if we were in person, but I'm not getting because we're, for the most part, virtual. Right, I guess we're hybrid now, but not these kids. So I appreciated that I was, able to kind of learn more about them. And I feel like Wixie makes it easier for that to happen because it gives a little bit more flexibility. So tips for teaching Wixie use. So it's definitely easier as a PE teacher when the classroom teachers use it. But I have found that using I found that going really, really simple and only doing a little bit at a time is makes my life and their lives easier, and it works better that way. But also using the snipping tool. So I don't know if other computer systems have a snipping tool that you already have access to in your computer, but the snipping tool is my most used app probably for my screen. So I snip pictures from Wixie, and then I make arrows and I add text. This example is one for how the students could add their exercises. They had the choice to draw it, or they could add a picture or take a video. I talked to them about how when you click video, this little box comes up and you need to click the word allow, otherwise it won't work. I've also shared, this is from before ransomware because we don't have BCPS 1 right now, but I also shared just how to get to Wixie. I don't know. For us, it's a little bit different now, but having them navigate from the meet to another thing can be really challenging for kids sometimes, even if they've already done it in other classes. So I think just being able to say, this is how you get there, and then waiting for all the students to get there and then explaining what they need to do, that has been helpful for me. And then also just snipping what they're supposed to do, what should already be complete, what they could skip, especially if you're having students complete multiple pages over or across multiple lessons. This is just that snipping tool. I use that snipping tool all the time. Here's another example of just how I use the snipping tool, and I circle things and write numbers to show them the steps. And this is what Judy was talking about. So this has been used a lot. That little camera that shows the X, this is what it looks like in Chrome. So a lot of my students, they had trouble finding it when I was trying to explain it to them over the camera, or over the Meet. So having this slide so that they could look back at it and, tells them what to do next. That was a lot easier. So that's it. That's my whole thing. And that's my email. If anybody, later on wants to ask, or if you want me to share something with you, I'm always happy to share anything that I have.
Thank you so much, Hannah and Judith. That was absolutely wonderful. Such great ideas. I'm going to go ahead and stop recording, but I'm hoping that people will ask questions and feel a little bit more inclined to ask questions in terms of you all showing them some things too once I stop recording.